Ding dong.
Dude, I think we're starting. Yeah, you see the red button or the red dot? Beautiful.
I see that.
So we're on. You guys, we're back here, episode 2. I'm sitting here with a legend. I don't even know if you can hear me with, like, I want to take this off. Is that okay or no?
Probably keep it on for practicing.
Practicing. We don't even know what the
Our
sound quality.
Anyway.
Yeah, but a lot of my fans love my smile. So
there it is, folks. You like that?
And then
tease them.
That's what's gonna have to do.
Oh, we got a special
my God.
guest.
Oh my gosh. Are you coming out this way? Are you
looks
coming
like
out this
it.
way? Oh my God.
Special guest.
Wow, I don't even know what to say. I feel like stricken with, wow.
Paul, where's the red carpet?
It's my wife. Well, no, maybe we get some music when you come through.
I like that idea.
Sorry.
No, not at all. This is terrific. I have my phone with me, and it's on Do Not Disturb is off. So if you need to call me, we have it. All right? Thank you. All right, the lovely Brandy Lynn ship.
Oh, yes.
Drive safely. Okay. Well, you know, you can't, like when Fred Astaire shows up in your theater, you definitely make a seat for them, right? It's not like you like say, no, we're doing something, right?
You know.
Fred Astaire, like I don't even know why I mentioned Fred.
I don't know who that is.
I don't even, you don't know who that is?
No.
Serious?
Millennial.
No, it's serious. You have no idea.
No idea.
Oh, I'm getting old.
Never heard of him in my life.
I don't even know why I would reference him because he's like my mom's kind of.
I don't even know people
I
that
should
are
say
relevant
Eddie
to my
Vedder.
generation.
I would have said Eddie Vedder. Do you know Eddie Vedder?
It sounds more familiar.
He's the lead singer of Pearl Jam. We should drop in a little Pearl Jam right here.
Pearl Jam.
One of the greatest albums of all time, I think, is 10. It was their very first album, if you're looking for an album.
Yeah.
We haven't even introduced you yet.
Like
nobody knows who you are. How would you like to be introduced?
Well, Paul, I'm your former coworker and also friend now, Francisco.
Friend, former coworker.
Did I say former friend?
No. You said former coworker. Yeah, we worked together.
We did.
I would say you're a activist.
Okay, I like that.
Scholar.
Okay.
A writer.
I've done some school.
You've done some school. A writer, and a practitioner of Kung Fu.
Yes, up
Wow.
until since late 2018. Yes, that's relatively
2018. So you've got like a year under your belt of practice.
Yeah, like a year and change.
That's cool, man. I mean, well, how has it affected you or your worldview practicing that for over a year?
So yeah, Kung Fu has been awesome. Just to be able to be in my body 5 days a week has been great. So you know, just developing skills, and you can see your own development while also getting some exercise and doing something that's sometimes meditative, but just being in your body. You're not in your head. You're not thinking about what's doing next for an hour and a half every day. You're just working on skills that you get little stages of improvement on, so you can see yourself develop. Where I feel like in the world right now, we don't have things that we can see ourselves growing in regularly.
Yeah, no, that's awesome to have a practice. It's a very specific practice.
Yeah, exactly. You're practicing something.
Do you think Kung Fu is trending upwards or down? Is it losing popularity? Is it getting more popular? You know, like, would you recommend Kung Fu for me? Like a feeble old man is my.
Yeah, I mean, no, absolutely. I think it's great. I mean, you're built for it. You're long.
Really?
You know, you could do a lot of lean meat.
I never considered it, like ever. But who knows?
Cool.
I wonder if Augie could get interested in it.
I think that Augie should. It's really good for just, you know, it's the type of Kung Fu that I practice is called Wing Chun.
Wing Chun.
Yeah, so it's named after a woman a long time ago who got bullied as a kid in her hometown and then left to train, came back, and the same bullies when she was a kid were still there as she was an adult, and she was assaulted by one of the men, and she wound up beating him up pretty bad. And the legend goes that the community then was like, oh, well, Wing Chun's Kung Fu is really good.
Yeah,
so they named her whole style after her. But
that was her name, Wing Chun?
Her name was Wing Chun.
And like you're talking like 100 years ago, 200?
Like hundreds of, I don't know how many years ago, but hundreds of years
All right, we'll have our data people check on that, and we'll maybe put it on the screen. Like, yeah, that's interesting. Wow. So it's a very, I think you've described it as a very defensive practice.
Yeah, it's very rooted in self-defense.
Okay. Gosh, I wonder if that
our slogan or whatnot, our mindset is, with mercy no fight, but with fight no mercy. So, dude, I don't want any problems with you.
Yeah.
We're cool until you cross this line, and then I'm gonna turn you into ground chuck.
Wow. And so it can be violent.
It's super violent if it needs to be. But the idea is somebody came in your home. The mindset is somebody came in your home, and you're not gonna be polite with them in the middle of the night if they're
you take care of business.
Yeah, you take care of business.
You take care of business. So if you cross a certain line, I mean, metaphorically, you're home, but if you cross a certain line,
if we're in the street and you're like, hey, man, I don't want any issues, but then they come and swing at you, it's over for them.
But a big part of the discipline is there has to be that buffer of, hey, man, I don't actually want to fight. That's you practice that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's been.
Because eventually I would like Augie to learn to defend himself. I think it's a really important thing for someone to know that they can physically defend themselves if it came down to it.
Definitely.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting balance because I don't want him to be violent and aggressive, but I also want him to be confident with his body.
Sure. I think the overlaps, because it's a principle-based martial art, instead of just a form of combat. It relies on four principles pretty much that govern every movement. So if you're forgetting what you're doing because it's not like making sense, you can rely back onto these four principles.
Can you give them right now quickly?
Yeah. So the first principle is, if the way is clear, then go forward. So if we're fighting and I can punch you in your face, then I'm going to do that. Like, that's it. If the way is clear for me to punch you, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we're fighting and that's the goal, then just execute it. And the second principle is, if there is an obstruction, then stick to it. So if you have your hands up in our fight and your hands are in my way from punching you in your face, then I have to stick to your hands until I can hit you in the face.
So whatever someone's putting up as a resistance or an obstacle, that's where your focus should be.
My focus is your face, but I have to stick to the obstruction because I want to get to your face.
Got it.
So if you throw me a punch and I'm here and the punch is going to hit me, I stick to it, literally stick to it with my hands so I can punch you.
Wow.
But otherwise your hands are here so you'll punch me.
Okay.
The third principle is, if the force is greater, then give way.
Whoa.
So
that's deep.
If you're super strong, instead of not fighting you and just like giving up, then the idea is to use that pressure to try to give way to it.
Yeah.
So that maybe if you overcommit to a punch and it's coming in hot, and I can use some sort of deflection or some sort of avoidance technique so that I can punch you in the face.
Got it.
And then the last principle is, if you retreat, then I follow. And not if you're running down the block, but if your force is less great, then I have to come to you.
So when you see vulnerability in this person, you need to like
apply more pressure.
I see that with like martial art, like when one of those MMA fighters, when they see their, oh my God, it is raining.
It's beautiful.
It's kind of cool because it's sunny
shining.
I'm waiting for a rainbow. Is this some sign that, like, I don't know, from Oprah Winfrey or something?
I think Oprah is about to descend.
Oh man, this is really magical, really, because you can see the sun and then this. Oh God, it's.
You know what this is?
No better drink. They're a little bit. We should have a spoon. Maybe you could like stir it with the accoutrement. But these are green smoothies. I'm kind of like.
I was just about to ask you to tell me about this.
No, that's not the right story. I really promote green smoothie drinking. I think it's really healthy and easy, and it's like pure sun energy. So drink green smoothies whenever you can. If you want to know how to make them, maybe I'll put a little recipe online there or something. Are they good, really?
This is amazing.
Dude, I put a lot of mint in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the almond milk.
I like that a lot.
Almond milk, I think this is collard green based. It's mixed berries, frozen berries, a little
See that
flax
focus?
seed.
Delicious right there. Some flax seed for the protein.
And Augie and I put in plant protein.
Ah, I can feel
So there's
that.
a little chocolate flavor in there.
I like this. That's very interesting. I wouldn't think of the chocolate.
So this was actually Francisco's idea. And, I'm giving him all the credit of having drinks here. And
Well, I'm
I
giving
think
all of you the credit.
the green smoothie, I think it's going to become a bit. But we don't know.
Let's do
We
that.
don't know how the viewers, the 37
I want to
subscribers
see all
will
of
like
Brooklyn
it.
enjoy this drink.
Oh man, I just wiped my hands on my pants. My wife's not gonna like that. I don't think I'm gonna edit it out
You are your 2-year-old.
because
How old is Augie now, 2?
he's 2.5.
Jeez, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's a good little bear.
What a grower.
It's an interesting field he's growing up in with this pandemic stuff, man.
Yeah, where is he now?
Well, he's in his little pod that we created once his daycare closed down, and Brandy and I are taking a bold step about him going to a larger school situation in September, but there's so much uncertainty. It took us weeks and weeks to make the decision with lots of counsel from her folks.
Wait, so is he going to a place?
Yeah,
Sugar.
an actual place. Yeah, he is. How's it going, man? How are you? Cool.
All right.
Yeah, he's going to this school, not too far from here. So
cool.
I'm excited, but it's there's all kinds of weird stipulations, like the kids are gonna have to wear masks. No way.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Look at, we're trying to figure it out. We don't know, but anyway, every parent is in this. I was talking to a cat this morning when I was composting. They chose to do remote learning, he and his partner, and they're going to do their best with that. I think this is an interesting challenge and a historical inflection point where education can draw from the online experience, and it can also draw on, I think it can totally transform the model that makes sense for individual families.
Yes.
I don't think a 19th century school model where you have a schoolhouse and everybody checks in with the attendance. I think that COVID-19 will not obliterate that model, but it will seriously challenge
It makes me think if this was all intentional. Because these things were
What do you
never
mean, like a pandemic?
planned. I mean, if you think about it though, hear me out. If you think about it.
Oh no!
If the powers, no. If the
I didn't
powers that
know this
be-
about him when he came on.
I don't know if I believe it or not, but I'm flirting with the idea
Okay.
that if you really think about the powers that be that
Okay.
have all the numbers and all the information.
So 400 or 500 or so very powerful people in the world. Some people call them the Illuminati or whatever. Whatever.
Whatever the thing is.
So
I
you're
don't
saying
know.
somebody manufactured a virus?
I'm saying maybe it could have happened because society only becomes innovative out of necessity. But there is a false, so there is not, coronavirus has provided a much greater degree of necessity for us to stay at home, commute less, not have big
Public
congregations of actual schools when that can be done online anyway.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
have to go to an office every day. It's just some old thing that we do. We can do that online. I'm doing it online now.
But why is that going to benefit this nefarious group of
If
people?
you think about it, okay, so there's 164 million people in the United States workforce, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Okay,
And
164
if you
million.
have,
Okay.
what's a commute time to work? 15 minutes to an hour to maybe an hour and a half?
If you live in Iowa or
Like whatever, you're on an
wherever.
interstate highway going from some suburban thing, you're going into the city, that's an hour in your morning.
Okay.
An hour in your afternoon.
All right.
If you take 1 hour a day, 164 million hours, divide that by the amount of, but into days, that's like 600,000 days.
So
that's
you-
like 18 years. That's like 18,000. It's like a ridiculous number. It's an insane
You
number.
mean the number of hours you get back in your life versus
if you
don't
don't
have
commute.
to commute.
Think about how much money that,
that sounds like a
amount
benefit.
of hours.
That sounds like a benefit.
It sounds like a benefit. It sounds like that is an incredible amount of money.
Yeah, but you still have to work sort of from home. It's not like you're going to go home and play with your kids for an extra 6 hours.
No, I'm saying that for the corporations, they could say, oh, I want to start the workday at 8 now since you don't have to commute, since you'd be waking up anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
I mean, it hasn't
is that
it
what
hasn't
they're
happened
doing?
yet, but I'm just saying, if if you're taking that much more time, that's an hour a day. That's 7 hours or 5 hours a week for one person.
I don't see that as but maybe look at I could be wrong. I don't know anything. But I don't see that as a global momentum. I think.
But then you delete schoolhouses. What else can you do with the
No, that's not delete.
Tens of thousands.
Not delete. Like right now, there's this monolithic 19th century model where all the young men and women, really creative, really like labor intense, are capable of lots of labor and meaningful work. They go from classroom to classroom like mice in a cage to take notes on abstractions that are tested, and it's we've been criticizing this model for 100 years since it started in 1852 in Massachusetts. But I think this is going to say, like, why can't, like, me as a family, I check in, okay, yeah, Junior's going to go to school Tuesday and Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm home. I like having my son around. Like, he checks the videos, I have a conversation with them over lunch, and we talk a little bit about his assignments. He checks in with his teachers, he goes to the schoolhouse 2 days a week. He's falling behind in algebra. I don't know. We don't know. But why should it be the 19th century model when we have the opportunity now to say, hey, school at the beginning or sometime in the middle of the summer, your family says, hey, I'd like my kids to go to school every day because we both work and we also know they can get free lunch there and that's good for us. But someone up the block might say, 2 days a week because this guy also works in his father's grocery store 3 days a week and that helps our family. Like, what the hell? Why not both?
Right. I mean, essentially, eventually that would be great. I'm just thinking that your downside, regardless of what the situation is, there will be a less of a reliance on physical schoolhouses.
Yeah, unless you
in some way or another.
Yeah, unless you put the roofs as gardens and and then you have a. But I think.
Right. I'm just saying that there would be a lot of advantageous elements to having us commuting less, going to work, for instance. Like, maybe it's not schoolhouses, maybe it's just work. What are those office buildings all turning into now?
I don't know.
Like, what do you do with malls? You know what I'm saying? With Amazon coming out, you don't need physical stores.
I know, right?
You don't need to go anywhere.
But isn't it an opportunity to redesign like public space?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You redesign public space. People don't want to be in cities anymore, so maybe they're moving out of cities, which is taking up. We have tons of land in this country and in the world. Well, I'll speak for this country only. Europe, I don't know where people would go because it's like not a lot of mass. There's a lot of coasts and a bunch of cities, but in the middle, it's like not the most.
It's all population density, but those, you can easily come by those.
We spread out because people don't want to be in cities because of some terrifying pandemic, and we can do all of our work anyway. So you get more land for cheaper in a suburban area or like the middle of nowhere. You have Amazon deliver you your shit anyway. You get a deep freezer, or grow your own food, which is something that's been trending now.
Yeah, food production.
Yeah, food production. I started a box garden.
Good,
raised garden bed in the backyard, 2 of them. It's cool. We grow our beans and peppers and stuff.
Nice.
It's been cool. But I'm just saying, like, all of these things, there's no way that the powers that be didn't consider these things to happen. If they were like, what if we just threw in a little curveball?
So, you know what? I don't know. You may be right.
I have no idea. It's just an idea I've been thinking about.
What if? Now, that could occupy some part of our imagination, that possibility. It may end up being true. But isn't it more probable that with 8 billion people and food production standards of hygiene and sanitation are so, like, compromised when you have 8 billion people and trying to, like, grind out enough pork or beef or whatever animal you're eating, and you're in such close proximity to the workers who have to grind for low wages to feed all these billions of people, isn't it, we're coming in contact with more animal viruses, so that it makes sense that there would be more transmission. So while there might be some nefarious plot in the lab, I think that's distracting, because really what we need is to analyze, like, why we eat so much meat. And because that's not it's not very good for the planet. And I totally agree with food production. We need to start producing our own food so we learn a little bit more about, like, how things actually get grown, and it's better for our bodies. So I don't know. I guess.
Yeah.
Finally,
that's awesome too. I think.
I look at it. It might be true, and out of it will. You're saying that out of that, it was a way to just like catalyze all these changes that are going to happen, but we weren't going to do it unless somebody did it because they knew that it would have this echo effect. Is that what you're suggesting?
I mean, I'm saying that if that was the case, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm committed to that line of thought.
Right. That would
I'd
be
just much more go with the flow of things.
I think someone's probably working on that screenplay somewhere.
Oh yeah.
You know, we'll see it in the theaters if we ever can go back to the theater. Dude, what's the worst part about this, truthfully? I mean, we can't talk about this during the global pandemic with masks on, or at least one mask on.
You
and
filthy animal.
And like, what's the main sort of thing? What's the main worry, or how is it impacting you? Like, what's
the virus?
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I guess it's a privilege to be able to say this because I haven't lost anyone from it. But just being able to, like, all this stuff, grocery stores and all your day-to-day stuff is whatever. I can deal with that. But it sucks to like not be able to travel and just see the world and go, just be with friends. Like hug your family members. In the beginning, I went up to go visit my parents who are not in New York City, and I had to, stay distant from them.
You couldn't hug them.
Yeah, it sucked.
Oh man, your mom. You and your mom are really cool too.
Yeah, we're close, so it was weird.
Oh, that's weird.
And I've had the blessing to be able to quarantine with someone that I love, so that's been cool. But I can just imagine, like, it sucks to think about people who just are in their apartments with nobody. Man.
I mean, you can romanticize it and say it's like a Buddhist retreat where you have to be in solitude. I mean, in solitude, you could come on. You can, you could have great insights in those conditions. But yeah, it can also be dark, and there's a lot of mental health issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, man. On a happier note, even though, we have to deal with that important stuff, you're engaged.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yes, I am. Dude. It's awesome, dude. It's
wow. Awesome. So how long have you been engaged now?
Shit. Oh. 2 months yesterday.
2 months. And it's her birthday tomorrow, right?
It's her birthday tomorrow.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome, man. I've been married 3 years.
How many?
Three. 3 years in June. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, man. The reviews are good. I like being married.
It's cool, yeah. I'm not there yet, but it's been cool.
There's much to talk about. It has a lot of texture, but I enjoy being in partnership and being married. It's awesome.
Yeah. Partnership. It's good.
Do you guys have a date?
Well, Tennyson his nickname is 10.
Who's that?
Or 1010. That's Jamila's son. And so we were thinking 10-10. So October 10th.
This year?
No, next year.
10-10-21.
Yeah.
So you'll be another year and 2 months or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of other changes and stuff going on, so we're trying to figure that out before we. I mean, it doesn't need to happen right away.
Oh, well, that's cool, man.
That's
awesome. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. Big changes.
I don't know when that. It was about 2 months ago, right? Mm-hmm. I thought I heard this collective sigh all over Brooklyn, all the single ladies, just a visceral groan coming out. I didn't know what it was. It was one of those.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah, it was wow.
And
then now, I'm not saying it was that, but I could understand.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
That's congratulations, man. What are you doing for work?
I'm still a counselor. So I'm online working with that. I have a caseload of 50 students, and they're all transitioning into college. So helping.
So they're from high school to college.
Yeah. So now I'm working.
Can you say the organization? Or is that?
I don't know.
Maybe
it's a mysterious organization in
Harlem.
It's a mysterious
organization somewhere in Harlem. yeah. Are you still working for that operative from that government? Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So
500
Francisco. Yeah, sometimes he disappears for months at a time. You got to check in with headquarters. But you got 50 students?
Yeah, 50 students I work with, and it's all just making sure they're good to go. And it's weird because they're like the first generation of human beings ever to have to go to college remotely or under a pandemic. Like, it's so weird. Everything is different now. Like, nobody knows.
Wow. Are they excited, or are they?
Yeah, excited. They're just weirded out. They're excited, but they're nervous. They're like, oh, what is this?
And your job is to support those 50.
Yeah.
So if 50 drop out by like November, you're like,
I am out of a job.
You're like a guy like strike out. Okay, so your goal is to get all 50 of those to complete. You know, how many years? Like going into multiple years?
Yeah,
full degree?
I'll stick with them for as long as I'm employed with the organization and as long as they're in school.
Wow, that's a good support. You seems like you believe in the mission.
Yeah, it's good.
Nice, man.
You know, I think that it's a useful asset.
Yeah, it sounds like a well-designed thing to have people checking in on you. At college and school. Oh my God, it so sort of worries me because I wonder what's going to happen to the job market. Like, how many jobs are we actually going to need?
I don't know. I think this whole Corona thing is going to produce a lot of jobs and a lot of creative stuff when it takes off. I think. I mean, there's so many different ideas, man. It's such a jolt in our gearbox, you know. If you think about it, like, there's so much opportunity for apps to kick off, for different things to
just innovation.
How do we get hand sanitizer compartments in cars? Like, how do we make new spaces? Architects, how do you make new spaces to be clean?
Got it. There's all kinds of mosquitoes. We got to be careful here.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Clean architecture.
Yeah.
How do you provide like public services? I mean, just public space libraries. How are they redesigning themselves? You can build apps for education people to monitor the flow of people in study spaces. You know what I mean? Just all kinds of innovation to happen in a time where all of humanity is challenged.
So, Michelle. Hey.
But that was their practice already. So economically, they had a sustainable thing going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like maybe they're not paying them as much, but they're getting tuition off, right? However that worked.
Yeah. But just thinking about spaces more creatively.
They're paying their taxes. They're creating their own. They're participating in their own environment.
Yeah.
Like they're circulating the work there.
Yeah. There's more intelligent ways to, if you have a big building. And whether it's 150 or 5,000 students going into this condensed space, like how can you create just a more enriching and sensible experience?
Yeah.
And I think we will, because of many of the things you said. And I you know what, even though people, I want to sort of end on this, and well, maybe not end, but at least throw this out there. I think there's a lot of divisiveness and like negative talk about whether it's Como or de Blasio or Richard Carranza or this person's not doing this. And you know what? I think each of those men and other, you know, all the men and women who are like figuring it out, including, you know, I was saying a conference call with Bill Boyce and Janan. You know, these are administrators in the board of it. Everyone is trying to make it work, to be both, you know, responsible and responsive to a public health crisis, but also provide a meaningful education. So and people, even though we might not agree with how someone says or when they publish their next guidelines or what the guideline says, I don't know, there's some comfort for me.
Right.
In saying, you know, everybody's trying to get it right, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe I'm too naive in saying that. But
yeah,
it just feels better to think that, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that there are people who should, yes, and I think in other states at least there are people who are not informed enough to make the decisions or to even have the power to make decisions for all of their constituents. Like the people who are pushing not wearing masks or something. I think it's
you mean the legislature?
Or not listening. If it's a scientific, it's a biological, you know, thing. Just follow biological standards.
Yeah.
Don't get spit on you if that's how you get a disease. If spit gives you the disease, then make sure you don't spit.
Are you trying? Okay,
No.
Trying to tell
I mean,
no.
you know, I'm just saying that if you're pushing that language, that masks are less helpful, do more harm than help, or something.
Oh, okay.
You're going directly against the professionals in the field. And to what purpose? Are you, you know, are you trying to...
People feel like they take it on as an offense to their civil liberties or something.
Yeah, but that's, you know...
Yeah, it's a curious
If
take
it's a relationship, I mean, I've never thought about this before, but, you know, if it's a relationship, okay, so you're dating Brandy and Brandy decides to go, or you're married to Brandy and Brandy decides to go, you know, get counseling. And now you're saying, oh, that's an infringement on my enjoyable time with you. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I don't want you to be healthy because, you know,
yeah, it would inconvenience me.
Right, it would inconvenience you, but really in the long term, Brandy getting counseling or whatever may help you, or whatever the situation may be. It may help the relationship flourish.
Even though it has some inconvenience to it.
So the state and the citizens, if the state is saying, you know, we don't want you to wear masks because it's inconvenient to you, you know, really, like, if you wore masks, it would be an investment into keeping everybody safe.
Absolutely, yeah, we have to.
So yeah, you're giving up some of your breathability, you know.
Yeah, comfort.
But like, in comfort and whatever. But like, dude, this is your life, or the life of your neighbor.
Your community.
Or your general thing. The relationship in total, the state and yourself. You know?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's been politicized to such a degree. I mean, but, you know, the election's in November, I think, you know, hopefully when we come out on I don't know. Yeah, it's really challenging. I don't want to talk too much about that because we can get sunk into that. Wow. Like, I don't even know how long we've been going.
Me neither, but I like it.
But
this
probably
is a good Stoop conversation. This is some Stoop stuff,
dude,
man.
Yeah, this is going to make the cut. So you like the smoothie.
The smoothie is a double thumbs up.
We'll see if we're going to keep that bit. Maybe we'll have some theme music with the smoothie when it comes out.
Boom.
You're awesome. You got any thing to shout out or something you missed, or you want to say hi, mom, or whatever? Because I'll put this on YouTube, and then our first episode had 68 or 69 views at this point.
It's a good number.
You know, it's also very funny, like who's watching your media. Like, some people are rediscovering the Eric Joseph show.
Yes.
And Francisco, oh my God, Francisco is the highest.
That might not be true, though.
The highest watched other than episode 1.
Second highest watched.
I think, yeah, it's 118 views, and the first episode we shot back 5 years ago was
heck yeah,
286. I don't know if you're gonna catch it, Francisco.
I don't know.
Especially now that you're not dating, man.
Can't tell all the women.
Oh my God, is it true that you got a lot of women because they knew you were a guest on the Eric Joseph show?
You know what? My popularity amongst the ladies definitely increased after I talked about Christy. And
such a classic episode.
It was great. And how when you're old, you turn into a hamburger. But when you're young, you're a plate of spaghetti.
That's because Eric was baiting you with some of that?
It was great. It was an enjoyable day.
I might have to go back and watch it again. So, man, it is an absolute delight to have you here.
Yes.
I think next is going to be Yolanda.
Yes.
You know Yolanda?
I do know Yolanda.
Did you work with her at Leadership?
I did not, but I saw her a few times at BCS.
Okay. And we call her the La Bruja.
La Bruja.
I think that's the witch, right?
Maybe.
I think the witch.
Yeah.
I think she likes that moniker.
Okay.
And then after her is Phyllis Mignon.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Phyllis on the Stoop.
Phyllis is gonna blow up. Oh my God, it's gonna be huge. And I think maybe eventually Matthijs and who knows.
Okay.
But it's so.
I like that. It's a good lineup.
I don't. Yeah, it's I don't want to boast, but that's some heavy hitters.
That is.
You know. Who knows? Yeah.
You got your smoothie cups full of good people coming up.
Yeah. We'll keep that going.
Yeah.
That's it, I think, right?
Yeah, man.
All right, my man.
Good to see you, Paul.
Yeah, well, we're probably gonna eat. I got some sauce
food
I made and maybe some tacos. Okay. Hey, thanks guys for checking us out, and we'll see you.
You guys are the bomb. Check it out.